I'd next like to invite Yerdaulet Rakmattulla, co-founder of the STEP Organization for Peace, Qazaq Youth Initiative for Nuclear Justice.
Dear Brooke, and good morning, good day, and good evening to everyone from sunny Vienna who joined us today. It's a pleasure to see you all virtually and an honor to represent Kazakh youth and bring youth perspectives to this discussion. Thank you for the invitation, dear Christian and Brooke, and I congratulate the NAPF and RTT teams on the successful launch of the nuclear justice campaign. I wouldn't talk for a long time, so I'd like to just share the news and the youth perspectives on the nuclear justice. So I believe we should make this campaign collaborative with frontline communities and allies in Kazakhstan, Kiribati, the Marshall Islands, French Polynesia, Algeria, and all around the world, especially with the states that suffered from the nuclear weapons testings and more. We should continue advocating for nuclear justice and collaborate in establishing the International Trust Fund with nuclear affected communities, civil society, youth, and other underrepresented stakeholders. This collaboration is crucial to ensure that the interests of frontline communities are represented in the development of the International Trust Fund. The leading representatives of the Kazakh nuclear affected communities proposed to conduct a survey among nuclear affected communities so we could integrate the real needs and demands of those communities to the ITF in the future. Just a week ago, I could co-organize the first study tour to Kazakhstan with the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, its German branch, and their team, namely Janina Ruter and Juliana Hauschulz, and with my Kazakh colleagues from the STEP Organization for Peace and Friedrich Ebert Foundation in Kazakhstan, Medet Süleyman, Jibek Tohtash, Alisher Hasangaliyev, and also the founder of the Polygon 21 non-governmental organization and civil society leader Mayra Abenova, who is also present today. She is native of Semey region and descendant of nuclear survivors. So it was a privilege to visit the saint and sacred lands of Abay region. In just a week, we did more than 20 meetings, events in more than 3 cities of Kazakhstan, namely our capital city, Astana, the city of Semey, and our former capital, Almaty. In the capital city, we could talk to the director of the International Security Department of the Kazakh MFA, Mr. Arman Bayswanov. In the evening, we had an online session on Kazakhstan's leadership in disarmament and non-proliferation with dear Mr. Jangel Sırmbet, who is also present with us today. We met the atomic soldiers, we talked to the parliamentarians, and also to the judge of the Constitutional Court, which freshly established last year in Kazakhstan. Then in Semey city, we had meetings with the mayor's office and regional city council representatives. We also visited the Radiological Ecology and Biology Research Institute. So we had quite intensive and insightful week. And also I would like to thank especially the members of the Polygon 21, a nonprofit. This organization already gathered more than 50,000 signatures to their petitions with demands to the government on the needs of Semey people. They could organize the meeting with 5 key Kazakh ministers back in 2021 to raise the environmental, public health, agriculture, and other related issues in Abay region. And the governmental commission was established back then, but it's still not in action, but we are looking forward to its active participation in the affairs of environmental remediation and victim assistance with also international stakeholders. However, while we are waiting for this, the devastating consequences are still continuing, so we believe this issue will be resolved in the near future. During that study tour week, we witnessed the devastating humanitarian and environmental consequences of nuclear weapons and testing in Semey region. But I would like to highlight that even though it happened on the territory of Abay region or former Semey region or East Kazakhstan region. It also affected the neighboring regions in the north, central Kazakhstan, and eastern Kazakhstan. So it's crucial to also bring nuclear affected communities from that villages and cities. It's essential that we put our efforts in diversifying the pool of nuclear justice advocates, from scientists and medical professionals to educators and more. This diversification will help amplify the voices of frontline communities in policy-making decisions regarding the Articles 6 and 7 of the TPNW on victim assistance, environmental remediation, and international cooperation. And lastly, I would like to say that nuclear justice should be at the heart of the peace education, peace diplomacy, and peace activism. We must recognize that nuclear weapons and climate justice are existential twins and the existential crisis. So by putting them, so they're putting the human race existence at greatest risk. People of Semey and Abay are one of those resilient communities among the nuclear affected communities. And I believe thanks to this nuclear justice campaign, we could involve them in this international campaign. So without the representatives in the high echelons and enough economic assistance, they could preserve the city and region for the last 25 years. And thanks to the reforms of our government, president, now they have their own representatives, their own region, and it's only the beginning of new positive changes and prosperity of that region. And I would like to highlight that at the end of our intensive study tour, we also organized the open and hybrid panel discussion titled Step for Peace, Advocating Nuclear Justice in Kazakhstan. It was the first event of this kind that happened in our country, I believe. And I could moderate the second session titled Kazakh Nuclear Legacy, Rebuilding, Restoring, and Resilience. So we invited three speakers, namely Aygerim Sitenva, who is disarmament leader and a third-generation survivor of nuclear testing, of Soviet nuclear testing. Also Gulsum Kakhimjanova, a veteran of the Nevada Semey anti-nuclear movement and founder and director of IRIS, Union of Victims and Nuclear Tests. And also Kaysha Atakhanova. Kaysha Hanım is a Kazakh biologist and social activist and the founder of the Karaganda Ecological Center. So thanks to their insights, we could raise this question to greater audience, especially to our German colleagues, German environmentalists, peace activists. And I believe I'm looking forward to engagement of these actors during the next months before this, the third MSP of the TPNW in New York City. So we discussed the Kazakh journey to nuclear justice from Soviet times till today. Till today, we also raised the questions of rehabilitation and how we should work through the Articles 6 and 7. And I believe we have a lot of work and a lot of potential to collaborate within and beyond this nuclear justice campaign. Thank you for your attention. I'm looking forward to fruitful discussion and cooperation. Thank you so much.